Ahoy! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with a quick video to talk about July's Wargames. For those who are coming into this for the first time, Wargames is an event format that sees you compete using decks built from a narrower selection of cards. Like Champions and Blitz, you then play a string of matches and earn rewards based on your progress. The level cap is set to the cap for the previous league, so the cap is therefore 11 for Masters, 10 for Diamond, and so on. That this is still the case even now is still disappointing, as I'd like to see this match to Blitz and Champions, especially as you're being directed to use units here that you may not have leveled. My apologies also for this being so late. We've had some pretty hectic load shedding power cuts here in Zimbabwe, so I've had no power or internet for days. We've got a generator now, but we still need to find fuel in a country experiencing terrible fuel shortages. Exciting. Also, my apologies for my voice. I appear to be coming down with something, but content waits for no man. Now, as usual with my Wargames videos, leave a comment below with what deck you're going to be running, then come back after the event and let us all know how you did. Now this time around things are a little bit different. You'll be playing as either GDI or Nod, with a fairly low cost selection for both. For GDI, all commanders are available. All of the barracks units are available for use. The War Factory has War Dogs, Rhinos and Pitbulls, and the Helipad has Drone Swarms, Talons and Mohawks. For Nod, it's a very similar suggestion, with the Hand of Nod having all units available to you, the War Factory containing Cyber Wheels, Bikes and Buggies, and the Air Tower containing Laser Drones, Venoms and Banshees. You'll notice that neither faction has access to their tech. The Tech Lab and the Temple of Nod are unavailable. This actually is going to be a nice break from the current meta, where tech is now suddenly everywhere. Now, that all said, this is actually possibly the tamest Wargames event we've had for a while, and there's a few standard aggro decks that can be built here. So we will start with GDI first and foremost. When looking at these selections, I do try to decide what to suggest by first considering the various different openings and then going from there. Now in here there are several. We could go barracks opener with either riflemen or missile squads, and with the full barracks then available to us after, this doesn't seem like a bad option. There's plenty to go up into from here. A War Factory opener of War Dogs could also work, as this can straight up move into Rhinos or Pitbulls. Technically, you could do a drone opener, but you lose hard to Pitbulls and Missile Squad spam, so I'd not really suggest that. So a Barracks or War Factory opener seems safest, but where from there? Well, if you went Barracks, you could start with something like Riflemen, then have Missile Squads and Grenadiers. This gives a good basis for a strong deck. Throw in Pitbulls, Talons and Mohawks, and you have the deck I was running on ladder last season. Now honestly, this deck could work well if we just tweak it a little. There's no real need for Grenadiers, for example, as Pitbulls are going to be the heaviest ground vehicle, so what could we swap them for? Well, JJTs are a little faster and can deal with those Pitbulls nicely, and I think they're going to be a good choice if your Pitbulls aren't at the maximum level for your league. Even then though, I feel this is a little overkill. You have Mohawks and Missile Squads already in the deck, so perhaps swapping to Rhinos could be an option, as these will do well against most infantry and can help against drones and Talons. You see, that to me is a strong contender now. Rifles and missiles early for scouting and cheaply dealing with any openers your opponent could send. Rhinos are good against most infantry and will rinse through drones, and Pitbulls are your anti-air, anti-war dog unit. Talons will help deal with things like Grenadiers or blocked snipers, and Mohawks will punch out most ground vehicles. This deals with almost anything, and if you have the levels here, it'll do exceptionally well. Now I'd recommend Strong Arm for her turret here, as it's good against infantry, light vehicles and aircraft. Look back at your Wargames units and you'll see they are all infantry, light vehicles or aircraft. Now I'd be remiss for not suggesting a second deck that also stands out to me here. The second deck is a little more micro-intensive, but I reckon it'll have a better win rate for those who can work it. Yes, we're jumping back to the very first Wargames event of Snipers and Pitbulls. This combo works exceptionally well, in so much as snipers can be hard to deal with if they're blocked well. Air units are really the only thing that gets past, so well-microed Pitbulls dancing back and forth keep snipers safe almost indefinitely. A single sniper squad therefore survives for a long time and kills more than its cost in enemy units. Now if you can't run this deck due to levels, yay for snipers being epic cards, then at least plan to face it a lot. Be prepared to see it, as I reckon this deck will be very popular. You see, here I would scout out with War Dogs first, which can 2v1 most infantry openers. If they opened War Factory or idiotically into drones, you can move up into Pitbulls. If they insist on heavy infantry, pull out your snipers. This deck otherwise plays like the previous one I mentioned. For Nod though, there are a couple of options I can suggest again. Firstly, you could replicate the GDI 222 that I suggested first. Militants and laser squads are analogous to riflemen and missile squads, with buggies and bikes in the War Factory and Venoms and Banshees in the air tower. The buggies, of course, are your anti-infantry and anti-drones, bikes take out your aircraft and light vehicles, and then Venoms are great for shredding through infantry, and Banshees for aircraft and like some of the heavier ground vehicles. This is a lightweight variant of the standard 222 Nod aggro deck, and it is definitely a solid choice here too. Interestingly though, my main Nod deck is absolutely viable in this. Yes, the Jade 3-3 air deck. With militants for scouting and laser squads for early vehicle threats, you start with a hand of Nod opener. Here we also have Chem Warriors, which we'll come back to later. We then skip War Factory entirely and go straight to the air tower. With laser drones to obliterate ground vehicles, Venoms to shred infantry, and Banshees to punch away pesky enemy aircraft, you pretty much have all of your bases covered. Of course, you then use Jade as your commander, who twins beautifully with those Chem Warriors. You'll be able to take out larger vehicles, you'll be able to take out threats that are far beyond what they'd normally do thanks to the Catalyst missile and the Chemical Warriors gas cloud. And of course, you can go for that first missile grab and then on to a base nuke. Now, this exact deck is showcased in my Jade Chem Warrior Intel report. I've put a link at the top right of the screen now to that video, so click through for full details there on how this deck runs. I won't drag out all of the details here, just click through, go watch that. Well, that about wraps things up here. Again, comment your deck below, then come back after the event to let us know how you all did. Good luck, happy sailing, and see you on the battlefield.